just tell you what's gonna be on the exam. And then you can do your work on the quiz.
Yeah.
And fill out SCTs. Have you done it for this class?
Oh, I have done it. Oh, I did. I made peach and chocolate.
Need the afternoon pickup.
Yeah.
Sugar rush.
Sweetie, would you like chocolate? You haven't been to stale cake. Oh. It's white chocolate. I'm not sweet. Did you do it? Yeah. Yeah. It's on this message. It's right next to that. It's the message.
Well, thanks for coming here today. I see it's quite a dedication to come here, rain, thunder, and you're in this room. I really appreciate, and I really am glad to see your faces here for our very last meeting in Property 251. Aren't you relieved there is no review session number on this slide? So we made it. Yes, our 12-week journey together. So today, we're going to have a short session. I will go over the exam that's coming up, what to expect, and then we'll say our goodbyes. Just take yourself back to 12 weeks ago and comprehend how much material we have covered. You know, you came here in March being just a pure novice, didn't know a difference between $1 today or $1 tomorrow. And now you can even build a discounted cash flow model in Excel. You can calculate a payment or internal rate of return using financial functions in Excel. Did you think you would do that? You know? So just give yourself a pat on the back that you've achieved a lot this semester. And I was really proud of your achievements on the test, especially the second test. You guys, so many of you have improved. And I'm hoping that this momentum is not going to stop today, and you're going to do really well on the exam as well. So what a better way to visualize your evolution as this, coming here, and now you're all proficient at property finance. But, of course, the reality comes back to us, and we have to think about the exam. Now, I'm thinking of this as the last 12 weeks have been training. You've been training, and the real run or race will happen in a few weeks from now. This is where you're really going to show me what you have learned. And that's my time to give you an evaluation of how well you have done. So there are still a few hurdles to overcome in this class. So for me, I have given you everything I could, and now you just have to use it wisely. So the biggest hurdle I see for some of you, of course, it's not even on the radar, you know you'll get it. But for some of you, you do have to think about that. But the first number is 45, and that is the minimum marks, 45% you have to get on the exam. So that is the first hurdle for some of you to jump over. Out of the, say, 100 marks on the exam, you have to get 45 to pass this course. That is number one requirement. And then, once you've cleared that hurdle, it's the overall, of course, 50% of the all the available marks that are available in this course is how much you have to clear. If you have done both of these, that's it. You are running towards the finish line. And I'm sure you'll be very relieved to get there. So please remember about this. And it's not just in Property 251. In any property course you're going to be taking this semester, 45%, remember about this number. We had a few students caught out with this who were going confident into the exam because they thought that in their coursework they have already achieved more than enough marks. When they came to the exam, they were really surprised with their final grade being a failure just because of this 45%. So do take it seriously, please. So what is coming up on the exam? You all know it's 50%. It's half of your grade is still at stake. The total marks that I have put on this exam is 60 marks. it's split between two sections. So if you look at the past exams, I've always used two sections on the exam. And on your test, there is nothing different from the test. There are two sections, A and B. So section A is conceptual, and section B are calculation questions. This time we have 20 marks for conceptuals and 40 marks for calculations. Within the conceptual section, section A, there is going to be 16 questions. So you can see from that not all of the questions are just 1 mark questions. There is going to be 4 questions that are worth 2 marks each. So it's almost half of the conceptual questions are just on those 4 questions. And you will be asked to write maybe 2 to 3 sentences on some conceptual questions. So for example, you need to explain what is the relationship between NPV and IRR. And that is something that came up a lot when you were doing your assignment. You were surprised, why am I getting a negative NPV? When all you have to do is look at the IRR and understand why that's happening. So there's going to be just those 4 very short conceptual questions, and the rest of them are just going to be fill in the blank or just the 1-word, 2-word answer questions. And you can see that most of the marks in the conceptual section are going to come from the material that we covered after test 2. So it's starting with lecture 9, 10, 11, and 8, I think. 8 is where we did the first DCF, the first pro forma, estimating the pro forma. So from that point on, so investment analysis lecture. From that lecture all the way to the end. So that's majority of your marks are going to come from that in section A. So don't underestimate section A because it is 1/3 of the marks of your exam. And then section B is calculations, and there is going to be 11 questions. And again, there is going to be more marks allocated to what we've done after the test. And so there weren't that many variations in the questions if you try to just think what we have done in terms of the calculations after test 2. It's mostly dealing with pro formas, calculating NPV, IRR, partitioning internal rate of return, calculating MIRR, modified internal rate of return. So if you're comfortable with those types of calculations, you will feel a lot better going into the test. But you will see some of the questions that we have done in the first 2 tests. So also go back to your tests and look at the questions there. And we have answer keys on Canvas for both of the tests that you can also find yourself what we have done there. Do you have any questions? It's all quite straightforward. Now, how can I prepare for the exam? So your mantra for the next few weeks should be eat, sleep, revise. And I think your mental and physical well-being is important as well, so don't forget about that. Exercise, and then repeat that whole cycle. There is a lot of material out there for you on Canvas. You just, hopefully it's not the first time you're going to see it. Now, consistently, 30% of students, more or less 30%, missed out on participation marks, which means they did not watch online lecture recordings or they didn't participate in Kahoot. So for that group of students, I think it's going to be quite big task, to watch the 12 weeks worth of material to prepare for this test. I'm sure everyone in this room have got all 8 participation marks during this semester. So we have, again, you might not be familiar, but those of you who have regularly been checking Canvas, we have, for each review session, there is a tutorial. For each review session, there is a problem set, and within that tutorial, I record a video where I go over each question, solving it in the video. So if you have not watched that, maybe it's a good time to watch it. For test 2, there is another tutorial as well for the test problem set that we had for test 2. There's also a video for that. Also, I don't know whether any of you paid attention, but there is quiz solutions. Canvas quiz solutions. I have recorded videos for all of your Canvas quizzes, except for quiz 7 and 8. Really, it was just one question, which was quite very simple. So, but for all the other quizzes, and quiz 9 coming up, I do have a video solution for that as well. And given that quiz 9 is worth quite a lot of marks, you do have to, probably don't put it off until Friday to start looking at it, because you will have to go back to week 1 material in that quiz 9 to do the calculation. So you're going to see various problems there. So you can see there is a lot of hours of watching. If you're ever bored and don't know which, you've watched all the movies on Netflix, there's always Property 251 videos for you to watch. Any questions? Of course, you see conceptual questions do play a part in the exam. So look at your notes that you took during when you were watching online lectures for the participation marks. But also look at the either live stream, go back to YouTube, or I also have links to all of the lecture recordings from the in-class review sessions that are on Canvas. Watch that. So that would be, that should be a strategy. To be well prepared is to utilize wisely everything that is on Canvas. And I will prepare a problem set for you guys for the exam. So there will be something extra for you to work with to prepare for the computational. And you see Kahoot questions. I will open Kahoot questions that we had in the review session. I will set up those as challenges. But to do those challenges, you have to have an app on a mobile device. It doesn't work on the computer for some reason. Any? No questions. Yes.
Is the answers will be up on
Not that I'm going to be posting them. No, I will not post answers to past exams. If you solve them and you don't know, if you have a question, email me. I'll look it up and can let you know. Some of the material I cut out from this year, and when you're looking at exams from last year or past exams, when you come across something and don't panic that, oh, I don't know, I've never seen it. If you haven't seen it, probably I didn't cover it this year. So there have been a few calculations that I didn't do this year. it would probably be good not to be a lone wolf in studying for the exam. Get together as a group, and when you have several brains working, it's a lot better. And I think when you can explain something to others, that is the best learning. That means you can definitely do it. So that's where I think everything is out there. I'm not hiding anything. You have everything open to you. So what I have, one last message, and there will be one more, but this is set. I'm sure you've heard a lot about that. Every time you log into Canvas, these 3 letters pop up. And I know you guys have to do it 4 times at least every semester. Twice a year, it's 8 times a year. I really do feel sorry for you guys. But if I could ask you to do this online evaluation, it would be really good. Right now, we're sitting at about 12% of the response rate, students who answered this survey for 251. It would be good to get slightly higher response. It's still available until Monday, so you have time, but we are going to finish early today. Maybe you can stay here in the class and just fill out the survey if you could. But please find time to do this. I would like to know, how I have done this semester. What is it that you liked? What is it that I could improve that students coming after you can benefit from what you have suggested? But, don't take that as your place to vent out. We are humans, and we do have emotions. And don't be, if you don't have anything nice to say, then probably just don't say it if you are not going to be giving me constructive feedback. Now, I do get sometimes feedback like, oh, this lecturer, she has this accent I don't understand. Okay, well, what do you want me to do about that? Don't just leave it hanging and just be mean on purpose. I cried reading some of the evaluations. Even males in our department, they get really, sometimes students can be mean. So I want to ask you, don't be mean. If you have something really constructive to say, say it, but say it in a way that is not going to really affect others. But we do really try, we try, and I hope you can see that. We want you to learn and to do well. So my last message to you guys is to stay calm and do really, really well on your exam. So thank you for being in my class. Thank you for coming here week after week. I really enjoy seeing your faces, and I can see that you come here wanting to learn. I'm going to miss you, but I'll see some of you next year maybe in property project. But otherwise, good luck on not only my exam, all the other exams you're going to be taking this semester, next semester, and so on. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, well, you guys are free to go. If you have time to fill out SAT, do that, or work on your quizzes.